Okay, close that. All right, we are recording. I got a couple more people I'm going to let come in here. Okay, thank you everybody for joining us today. We've had some beautiful sunny weather and today's a little cloudy, but I'm really excited about this meeting and want to thank Mike Talkington for joining us. He came really highly recommended from other economic development groups and other chambers. So we're super excited to listen and learn from all he has to say. So quick introduction. Mike Talkington is the founder and owner of Talk Media, a company offering social media marketing consultation and training. Mike has helped businesses in a variety of industries achieve social media success with his commitment to being an utterly reliable social media marketing specialist for small businesses. I love the utterly in there. That just makes it the best bio ever. So thank you, Mike, and thank you to everybody for being here. And I will just hand it over to you.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. I appreciate you. And thank you everyone for being here. I'm excited as we'll be talking about social media, which happens to be my favorite topic. So hopefully you get some tips that you can take away. Hopefully you have your notepad. I'm looking at my notepad right here. Hopefully you have your notepad with you and even coffee or a tea as well. So as Jessica mentioned, my name is Mike Talkington, and yes, that is my real last name. I get that question a lot. Let's see, I need to share my screen still. So I'm going to share my screen. So today's topic is marketing your business with ease. I have that here on this slide. And specifically with social media, my aim today is to make social media a little bit more manageable for you guys today. I know that there's a lot in the world of social media, and there's a lot that you guys have to focus on just running your business without marketing your business and using social media for your marketing. So I'm trying to make it not easy. I like the word simple a lot better than easy, but I want to make it much more there to be much more ease in your marketing. So attempting to simplify that today and just making it more all around manageable. And then, by the way, if anyone has any questions throughout, we will have a Q&A at the end, but please feel free to utilize the Zoom chat. Jessica and I will be moderating that. And if we see a question, we might take a pause and breather and look at that question, but all the other questions we'll just have the designated time for at the end. And I see that Jessica puts the similar thing that I just mentioned in there. So yeah, please do put your questions in the chat at any time. I had that up on my screen just off to the side. So I'll be monitoring that as well. Clayton says he forgot his coffee today. Oh no, Clayton, if you have to be back in 5 minutes, I won't hold it against you. Okay, but for everyone else who's got their notepad, they got their coffee, they're ready to learn social media tips, social media best practices about marketing your business with ease. Let's get started. So I was really impressed with the chamber members that I looked up. I went to the chamber directory on the website, and I couldn't help myself looking through a lot of the chamber members and just seeing how everyone is doing on social media. For the most part, everyone is, keeping it going. It's interesting how, like those who are more active with it, they tend to have more followers, and those who aren't as active and they're more infrequent, like they don't have as many people following them. So it's just one of those things where it's like sticking with social media over time, you can build up quite the audience. So it's cool to see that there's so many businesses who have kept with it and are taking it very seriously. So I was glad to see that. Okay, already invited you guys to participate in the chat. Just looking at my notes here so I don't get off track. Okay, so the question on the screen, are you going live? That's what I want to talk about first. And I also want to ask a question to you guys first, which, are you going live? Yes, that's a question, but a question for you to answer in the chat is, what is the #1 social media platform for your business right now? And if you have two, feel free to put two, but please take a second and write down what is the number one social media platform that you're using for your business, or your workplace. I'd love to see that. Melissa says Facebook and Instagram. Oh, I need to expand my chat. Okay, just made it a little bit bigger. I'm seeing a lot of Facebook. I'm seeing a lot of Instagram. Looks like mostly Facebook. Sandra Garson says Facebook. Clayton Conway says LinkedIn. Nice. Barbara says newsletters. Wonderful. Wendy Foster, Facebook and Instagram. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. So I had a hunch that Facebook would be the most popular that I'd see. Instagram, second most popular. So it's good to see that everyone is taking Facebook seriously for their business, because that is such a huge opportunity, kind of regardless of the business. And then there is room to have a second social media platform in the mix. So I'm glad to see a lot of people, including whether it's LinkedIn or newsletter or Instagram, another marketing channel within that. So Facebook Live. This is, I've changed my mind about Facebook Live just in the last year, and I'm so fond of it now. I was like, man, live, like, why not film a video where you can edit it and you can add some music and you can just kind of spruce it up? Why not just do that? What's the appeal to live? And it's exactly that, is you don't have to go through all those steps. You can, in just a couple clicks, you can get it published straight to your audience, no editing required. Live is such a powerful avenue to be using. Facebook has live, Instagram has live, LinkedIn has live. So the live format is something that I wanted to bring up first. And then, by the way, on the bottom of the screen, I have a few hashtags there. If you end up posting today about this event or just posting in the future, feel free. And I would encourage you to use these specific hashtags here. One is visit Camano Island, a good tourism hashtag, the Camano Island Chamber hashtag, and then the Easy Island hashtag. If you don't know what that is, I don't know why you're here, because this is for this community. So hopefully everyone knows what that is. And if not, you can search it and you can see what it's all about. So Monica has a question. She says, can you share Instagram Live to Facebook like posts? That's a really good question. I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head. I'll have to think about that. And maybe I'll think of it by the time there's the Q&A. So thank you for asking that. All right. So I wanted to show a couple examples of live videos. On the left, we have chamber member Sunfire Artistry did this, and they've been doing several live videos, but this live video was a quick recap of just what's going on that day. And I thought it was really, really well received. And it was just kind of off the cuff of, hey, I am attending this holiday event and invite everyone to come and check it out. And she just gave that little overview of the event and extended the invitation to go check it out, and just shared what it was, which is, that could be a lot if you're just kind of writing out post for social media. Why not make it into a live video? So I like where her head's at with this. There was a few more chamber members who are doing live, and I wanted to give a shout out to them as well. So Goodnight Homes is doing great live videos. Jed Dorsey Art Studio doing live video as well. Matic live video, shout out to Matic. Rockaway Bar and Grill, and then of course Sunfire Artistry. So if you guys are looking for inspiration for live videos, or if you just want to see what's going on with these businesses, they're putting out live videos and you can learn more about them. You can see kind of how they are doing their live. So there's tons of good inspiration there. And these folks are leading the way in terms of live videos in the community. So that's awesome. On the right-hand side, I have a client example. And I don't know if you know Debbie of A Bit of Taste. They have an olive oil and balsamic vinegar tasting room in Queen Anne. And one of the things that we did is we invited a local chef who has a restaurant just down the street from them. And we invited him to come into the sampling room and to react in real time on the live video, sampling different types of olive oils. So it's one of those things where it's like you can reach out to a neighbor, you can do a little collaboration with them, put it in a live video, which in just a couple of clicks, you can get the video out there. You don't need to worry about editing it or making sure that you do the second take, third take, fourth take. That was the thing that I was a little bit nervous about when doing live videos, is what if you do it better the second time or the third time? Fortunately, you can delete the live video if you really want to. Like if you just have to, it's like, oh no, I just completely messed that up and I have to word that much differently. But for the most part, people don't mind if you stutter or stammer a little bit. And that just shows the real you, which is what people want to see on social media. If they want to see like the polished version of you, they can go to your website, and that's what that's for. But for the real you that people want to see, and people do look you up, which is just one of those things. It's like, oh, I would never look someone up online and Google them. We all do it. Live videos, social media posts, showcasing the real you. So here are a couple, those are just two examples of that. And one other thing about the live video is the special live energy that you get when doing it. That it's you only get the one take. So feeling that live energy is a lot more exciting is one word, or invigorating, versus just, it's kind of awkward. You're just like outside, you have your phone, and it's not a non-live video, and you just record the video, and it's hard to just transfer that energy into just recording it when it's just a regular video. So live video has that benefit to it. And then one other thing about live is you can schedule your videos to be live, which notifies people. You can also send out like a text communication or a email newsletter that you're going to be live. Excuse me. And you can get more people tuning in to your live when it happens.
Mike, there was one question asking, how long do you suggest a live video should be?
How long? So several minutes is a good length, whether that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If it is, like a 30-minute live video, that definitely gets to be pretty long, because it isn't polished, and it the audio may not be as good. There isn't any sort of breaks really, and you might not be able to hold people's attention for that whole amount of time. So I would recommend, a 5 minute is good to aim for. If you end up going 10 minutes, great. I think like 20 seconds or a 15-second live video just isn't long enough, right? You might as well just film a regular video at that point. So good question. So final question about live videos is, have you considered doing live videos for your business? And I'd just love for you to think about that moving forward. Moving on to the next slide, and I'm going to take a sip of water. So your social media goals, and I like to think of social media goals as like platform specific. So if you're on Instagram and that's your number one platform, you can have goals related to Instagram. And it's like, okay, well, how detailed do these goals need to be? Are they future focused? I like to have kind of like process oriented goals such as this. Whether that's a daily post and you're just starting with that, that's a fantastic goal. Or if you have a few things going on for your Instagram goals, having a daily post, a daily Instagram story, and then a weekly video, whether that's Reels or Instagram TV. So I wanted to share this with you as just a simple way to set your goals for social media. You can always adjust it over time. And then whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram, it might be a little bit different because it is a different platform. So if you haven't in a while reflected upon what your goals are, now would be a good time to just jot down a few notes, or even later today, if you want to go back and revisit that. So I'd encourage you to do so. Okay, your platform. Which social media platform should you be on? And is the answer all the platforms? Probably not, right? It's okay to start with one platform. A lot of times, we take on too many platforms and we don't get as much traction as we're looking for with them. So starting with one is the best practice. Here I have listed a handful of platforms. Being a published author definitely is a platform. It's not a social media platform. Podcast is a platform. Shout out to Brandon at Camano Commons for his amazing community podcast. Blog, your YouTube channel, speaking, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, networking group. So at the beginning of the presentation today, there's several people who mentioned they had a couple top priority sites or top social media sites that they're focused on right now. So adding one more, one at a time, starting with one, adding a second at a time. And it's okay if it's not even a social media platform to begin with, like such as a podcast or a blog. So that's the gist of getting your platforms off the ground, is just not choosing too many, just starting with one and then adding one at a time, keeping that as simple as possible. And then one of the things that has happened is Twitter, for example, isn't as relevant of a platform as it previously was. And there's this one example that I was referred to from an organization based out of Everett called Child Strive. And they have a pinned tweet as their most recent tweet saying, hey, we have found most of our followers are most active on other platforms such as Instagram. So if you want to stay connected with us, and this message is on Twitter, right? They say, please follow us on Instagram. And I love that because people are interested in what they do and they want to continue on that path, and it directs them as opposed to just kind of ignoring Twitter. At that point, you might as well delete it if you're not going to have an active platform, or you can do like Child Strive does or did and put just a pinned message saying, hey, here's where we're most active. Thanks for finding us. So that's always a fantastic idea. So let's talk about Instagram specifically. So here's 4 different video lengths that you can have for Instagram. So if you have a 75-second video that you just shot on your phone, it's like, what do I do with this video, right? If you wanted to post it as a normal post, it can be maximum 60 seconds. So you might have to either trim it or use a different type of option on Instagram. A lot of people are confused about what the difference is between these, what the exact maximum duration can be. So I have that listed here. And then the slides will be, a copy of the slides will be sent out afterwards. So, and there's a few links on some of my slides that I link to that I talk about. So you can refer to this at a later date. Instagram TV can be up to 60 minutes. Stories can be up to 15 seconds. And stories are is the format that disappears in 24 hours. And Reels can be up to 30 seconds. They're commonly 15 seconds, but they can be up to 30 seconds. So if you do have a video or you're planning on making a video, you can use this guide to walk you through, okay, which format should it be? You might not know the difference between a Reel and Instagram TV. So one of the ways, each has their own features and benefits to it. Reels, for example, and that's on the right-hand side here, that can be up to 30 seconds. Reels has a built-in video editor within it, similar to TikTok, how you can add text on your video, but not for the whole video, just at various parts of it. And you can do other features, whereas Instagram TV, that can be up to 60 minutes, it doesn't come with any of those video editing features within the app. But with Instagram TV, you can add your videos to a playlist. So that way, when people are viewing your profile and they go to your Instagram TV tab, they can binge watch your playlist of your videos that are, most of them I'd imagine are longer than 1 minute. Otherwise, it would just be a normal post. So having a better understanding of the different lengths of media and what those different video options are and entail is really important to know, especially if you're looking to grow your Instagram audience. Melissa commented saying, Reels are fun to make. Yes. Definitely check out Melissa's Instagram profile for her Reels. Can you comment, Melissa, what your username is so people can find you? There it is, Pacific Northwest Mel. So if anyone's looking for inspiration on Instagram of what other people are making, there's an example. Then definitely follow me on social media too, on my Instagram or Facebook. So let's talk about Google. And I know that this is one of those things where it's like, okay, I feel like I already know this, But just as a reminder, I want to share some things with you about it. First is making sure that your hours are accurate online. I have this screenshot here from an email that is a popular email that you get if you manage a Google My Business, is what it's called. And make sure, by the way, that you have the sign-in information to your Google so that you can be getting emails such as this. So here's what this email says. It says, based off of, I'm going to move the chat a little bit. So it says your business profile has been updated. Your profile has been updated either through user feedback. So someone who's not you, they're not the business owner, they requested a change to your Google business profile, or, and it continues, our automated system. So Google's automated system, or someone that doesn't even work for your business, can change the details for your business so your hours are no longer accurate and other information about your business. So that you definitely want to be aware when you receive these emails, and you definitely just want to make sure that your hours are accurate on Google hours, Yelp hours, Facebook hours, and then depending on your business, your TripAdvisor hours, and there's other ones, but those are the top ones to get right. So hours. The other part is, and similar to this, is special hours. So Easter is coming up, and if your business is always open normal hours on Sunday, but since it's Easter, your business is closed on Sunday, you can specify if you're open normal hours or if you're closed that day for the special holiday, and you can do that. You definitely want to stay on top of that throughout the year as holidays happen. So that's important to stay on top of. And then let's see, what else about Google? Making sure you have the login. Reviews. So responding to reviews, very important. Asking for reviews. And if you have staff, showing them how to ask for reviews. That's just one of those things where, sure, you can send out an automated reminder saying, hey, thank you for visiting us, and you can ask for a review at that time, but just saying it in person, it very likely leads to people actually going, yeah, of course, and writing a review. So it's just a nice thing to do that doesn't take very long at all. And what I'd be curious of is if, and maybe you don't know, it'd be just a guess, how many reviews do you have for your business? So please take a second and put that in the chat. How many Google reviews do you have for your business? A lot of us, we do know that off the top of our head because it's something that we take very seriously. First comment from Alexis says she has 46. Rachel says 13. Awesome. Over 1,000 on Etsy, 188 for Brandon. Excellent. I'm going to wait for just a few more, and please don't be shy if you don't have that many reviews. Like if you don't have 188 like Brandon, it takes a while to get there. So anyone else comfortable? Clayton has 7. Awesome. It's about what I have. Anyone else? I know it's not the most fun question. So definitely something. Did we have a comment?
No, I was just wondering, what would you do to suggest for people to get more reviews?
So to get more reviews, one is making sure that you can sign into your Google business account. So google.com/business. So that's step one. And then the next thing is existing customers. Maybe they reviewed you on Facebook or reviewed you on Google. Those are the ones that are kind of like the low-hanging fruit that you could ask first. And you could just ask them to review you on Google, and you could add some context to that you're trying to take your Google more seriously. Because, like, let's be honest, most people do Google a business more so than they'll look at Yelp reviews or Facebook reviews, generally speaking. Like if you're a photographer, for example, Facebook reviews is probably more important than Yelp reviews, but those are all very important. Barbara says too, thank you for sharing, Barbara. One of the things that you want to do is ask at an appropriate time in the client relationship. So not before you do the products or services, and not a year after you fulfill the products or services, but right around the time where they're most pleased and it's most top of mind for them. and they'll typically say something like, wow, I'm so thankful for all the help that you've done today, and I can't thank you enough. And they'll say things like that, and that's the moment to just bring it up. And you if you're shy about it, you can always do it with like an email follow-up, where you can have the email just be asking for the review, or if you're sending an email, you can include it in the email, if you're emailing about something else. So just asking is one of those things that it doesn't hurt to do. And then not everyone that you ask is going to do it, but over time you'll build up more reviews, and you want to be in a place where you have a competitive amount of reviews for your business. So you don't have drastically fewer reviews than your competitors. And at the same time, if someone's having a bad day and they give you a less than 5-star rating, you don't want to have just one review so it tanks the average rating. So that's one of the things too, is just as like a precaution, where the best defense against a bad review is just getting lots of good ones. So Alexis has a question. She says, oh, I got a couple questions here. So Jan, I'll answer Jan's first. When you do Google Business, do you have to have a Google email? Yes, you do. Alexis says, how do you let people know when a business has new ownership? Most reviews are from before I took over. So I've experienced this before, and the best thing to do is chances are those reviews aren't responded to. So what you can do is you can go to those reviews from the previous ownership, and you can respond letting people know that there is new ownership. So that way, those people can give you a second chance and come in and have a new experience and either update the review or write an additional review, or they can, one second. People reading your reviews who haven't done business with you yet, instead of just seeing that person's perspective of the business, which was under a previous ownership, they can see your response to it, that there is new ownership, and that they can weigh that into their decision of coming to do business with you. So just responding to each of those reviews with that extra information of what's the new, what's going on with the business now that there's new ownership, I think would be a huge step forward for that. So that's what I'd recommend. And can you remove an old review? Usually no, rarely yes. I wouldn't count on that. I haven't been too pleased with the Google review process for removing reviews. Like there might be some technical things, like if someone is using profanity, Google would be happy to remove it. But usually I get a response from Google saying, hey, look, like we've decided to not remove this review. So if you have any luck with that, I hope you do have luck if Google takes your request and they remove it. But okay, Terry Dexter, cool last name, by the way. She says, I own a business where it would not be appropriate to ask for a review. Any suggestions? Terry, I'd be interested to know what industry you're in, so I could provide more details to an answer to that. Thanks for asking. Jones, a funeral home. Yeah, so I do believe that your business is on Google. What I would do is I would have it be a more casual ask, where I'm sure you use email communication with the client. You could have it in your email signature, and you could just explain that a review would be important to you, and that it helps spread the word of like the great experience. You could word a little bit better than that, but just essentially like you could help more people, and it would mean a lot. You don't have to say too much about it, but just maybe including in an email signature, or having it be like at the most appropriate time in email, as opposed to just mentioning it in person, because there's a lot of other things it sounds like that you'd be discussing with your clients at that time. I want to make sure I didn't skip a question here. So Mana, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. She says, there are so many places to get reviews. TripAdvisor, Google, Facebook probably makes sense to identify the best fit. Mona, I'm not sure what type of business you have, but just generally speaking, Google is the best place to get reviews and to make sure that you have lots of great ones there. So prioritizing that first. If your business is more tourism based, you can emphasize TripAdvisor, and then you can focus on asking people for reviews like one platform at a time until you have a good baseline of all the places. Then people can review you naturally as they prefer to review on one platform or the other. But overall, I would stick with Google. And if you do prefer someone to review you on one place, it would be Google, just because Google search is such a popular platform. And like, even to get to Yelp, you have to Google search for Yelp, and then you bypass the business's Google reviews in order to click on the Yelp reviews. So Google reviews, very important. So we have several more questions coming in. I think I'm going to wait for the Q&A time for that, just so I can get through the rest of my presentation. So my apologies for that, but I will answer those in here just a moment. So scheduling tools. A lot of us are using scheduling tools. I'd love to hear from you in the chat if you are using a scheduling tool and which one. I know that Buffer is a popular one. Hootsuite is another popular one. There's a lot of popular social media tools to schedule your posts currently. You can even schedule through Facebook. You can schedule your posts to Facebook and Instagram from Facebook, which is pretty great. Unfortunately, you can't schedule your Instagram posts through Instagram. I wish you could, but Later is a app, and later.com is the website. Another popular scheduling tool, Loomly, Loomly. I hear a lot of people enjoying that one. Constant Contact is one that you can schedule your post, your Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn posts. You can schedule it all through Constant Contact along with your email newsletter. There's probably some Constant Contact users here today. And then Canva is the other one that you can use to schedule posts. And I like the Canva scheduling. So lots of scheduling tools out there. They all kind of work the same way, and they're all, for the most part, pretty straightforward. So if anyone has any additional questions on scheduling, I'd love to hear those. But it's just one of those things that it saves you time. And yes, it's not the best practice to post the exact same thing to all platforms, but when you're in a pinch and you just want to get an important message out, it does a great job. So Facebook advertising. I don't know if Facebook advertising is something that is something that's on our minds here for everyone in the audience. There might be a couple of us that are using Facebook advertising. I don't want to assume that we're all using Facebook advertising, but if you are using Facebook advertising, I'd love to hear in the chat, put like a yes, because there are quite a few things that I could share on it. Alexa says yes. Okay, so I'll share a couple examples here. And I was thinking through this exercise of like, what if you have a little bit of budget to spend on paid Facebook advertising, like what do you do with that budget, right? And it's like, my train of thought goes, oh, well, if you're this type of business, you should do that. You do this type of business, you should do that. And I arrived at, okay, well, there's just a handful of, Brady says, yes, he's using Facebook advertising. So there's a handful of situations that you find yourself in when you're getting started with Facebook advertising. So I want to share those with you. So first, of course, if you have something coming up that you need to promote, such as a Facebook event, and there's a date on the Facebook event, and you want more people to register and to attend to that, then that's a great reason and situation to be using paid Facebook advertising. You can boost the event is a simple way to do it. Another example is if you have a lot of great content on your Facebook or on your Instagram, whether it's just posts, videos, especially videos, and it's like, okay, a lot of people, when I posted that, a lot of people saw this content, and now that it's been a little bit of time, no new people are really seeing that content, but it's still great content. That's a good situation to be in, where it's like, okay, I could boost those, or I could advertise those pieces of content, and that way new people are finding out about it, and new people are finding about your business. So as more of like a brand awareness type of thing. Another situation is if you have a lot of followers on your Facebook, whether you have 1,000 or 5,000. I think many of us would be ecstatic to have like 5,000 followers on our Facebook page. I'm not quite there yet. Okay, so when you post, it doesn't, each time you post, it doesn't go out to 100% of your people, right? The organic reach is what it is. The you can boost to fans. So people who have liked your page, they've already opted into hearing from you, but they just, due to the Facebook algorithm, might not see your posts. So if you have a lot of fans who aren't seeing your posts, but you have something that you're like, okay, I really want people to know about this and you want to promote it, a great place to start is just boosting to your existing fans, especially if you have more followers on Instagram or on Facebook. So that's another one that people tend to forget to include. Excuse me. And then the other one, in terms of just getting started with using Facebook advertising, is excuse me, once more. It's like, okay, like most people have Google Analytics installed on their website, and it's like, okay, well, wow, my website traffic just is pretty low lately, and I want to increase my website traffic. So that situation to be in is another one where it's like, okay, Facebook advertising can do something about that. Like you could set up different interests for who you want to be visiting your website and where they're from, and which page they land on, and all that. But in terms of just like, wow, I just want more website traffic, so that way more people can be considering doing business with me, more people can be learning about the things on my website. For example, if you had a like a website refresh or a rebranding, and you want more people to see the new look, you could be driving traffic to Facebook. So I have one more slide in a bit about Facebook, but I'm going to move on right now to Canva. And this is one of those secret weapons that a lot of people have under their in their social media and marketing toolkit. I made these slides in Canva, and I'm presenting my screen in the Canva present mode. So that's something new that I'm doing. They are coming out with all sorts of amazing features for your business. I wanted to list off a few of those. So access to stock photography. Canva has amazing stock photos available, and a lot of the good ones are $1 each, unless you're on the paid Canva plan, which is a pretty inexpensive plan to be on. But even the free version of Canva has great stock photos. It has a great mobile app that you can use. You can make different content for different social media. So there's like square for Instagram, and then slightly more rectangular for Facebook, and then like portrait mode, a lot taller than wide for Pinterest. So you can automatically have the most up-to-date dimensions when you select a new design in Canva. You can remove a background, so you can like impose yourself on a background, and you can do that in just one click. You don't need to know how to use Photoshop to do that. You can upload your own fonts. I mentioned you can schedule posts with Canva, and you can make things such as like an email newsletter, banner, and Canva has this like what's new section, and I was just reading up on it, where like all the new things that they're coming out with, and it's pretty mind-blowing. Everything that they have. One is like presenter mode, where you can make a presentation, and I've really been enjoying this. So Canva's pretty cool. Someone says, I love Canva. It makes things so easy. Jessica uses Canva. Very cool. Judy has just comments saying, I can never figure out how to print my flyers out of Canva. I don't know if this directly relates to that, but I have used Canva printing in the past. They have like a printing service, and I was very pleased with that.
Mike, can I say one thing about Canva that I think affects our community a lot? A lot of you have logos that you may send to, I don't know, the chamber if you're sponsoring one of our events, and your logos aren't necessarily vector files, meaning like you don't have a clear background. And Canva has a magic tool that will actually remove the background from your logos, which is really kind of cool, because normally you would have had to do that in a different thing. So if nothing else, that is a great tool for you to just be able to have your logo to be able to send to other businesses or events.
Yes. Good insight, Jessica. So next, I want to share, and this is something that Facebook has recently came out with, and they've rebranded it. And it's what it is VIP support. So if you have any questions for Facebook, whether it's for your ads account, for your Facebook business page, or for your Instagram account, you can contact the VIP support that they call it. And I included the link at the very bottom that you can click on if you need to. Not now, of course. But this is something I'm constantly reaching out to them for things just because they roll out a new product and it's confusing and you have to learn exactly how to set it up in the best way. And, like you're getting this confusing error message. And it's like you can troubleshoot all of that with them and find a resolution to it very quickly. So I've been pleased with their responsiveness in their support section. So that's a great resource that a lot of people don't know about, and it can save you time and frustration from trying to figure something out where it's like, this button moved and now it doesn't even work. It doesn't even let you click, like it's a toggle button, but it doesn't even let you toggle. It's like, what's going on? So lots of situations like that can come up. Alignable. So I looked up the Camano Island alignable and saw that there was it says 233 businesses are on there. So that's one of the things that if you're looking to meet new business owners and invite them to join the chamber, that's a great way to find business owners in your community. Alignable, if you aren't familiar, it's what it is it's like a local LinkedIn. So it's a social media platform that consists of small business owners and professionals, very similar to LinkedIn. And there's an alignable per city. So Camano Island has an alignable. Everett, where I'm based out of, has an alignable, and just a good way to connect with other business owners in your community. There isn't really, it's not so much a social media site. Like there isn't posts that you can do to it aside from the forum section. So it's not like another place where it's like, oh man, I have to post not only to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and alignable too. You don't have to worry about posting there. It's just a great way to connect with new people like you can on LinkedIn, but you can post on LinkedIn. So Business Manager, this is one of those things that makes your managing your social media and your paid ads, of course, a lot more manageable. Hence the word manager and Business Manager. And a lot of people I talk to don't have this set up. I have a link at the top right where you can go to this exact page that I'm looking at here. What is this tool? So Business Manager is a container for your Instagram, Facebook business page, and your ad account. It just puts it all into one tool and you can manage it from there, along with putting all of those assets into one place. You can also have access to Facebook's other tools, such as the Facebook Pixel and other advertising options. Last time I presented last week and someone said, Pixel, what is that? So Pixel, a Facebook Pixel is one of those, is very similar to Google Analytics, if you've heard of that. And it's a code that you install on your website, and it, for no cost, it tracks data about people using your website, how many people are visiting your website, which pages they're visiting, how they arrived to your website from your ads. And I would recommend that for everyone here who has their own website, if they don't have a Pixel installed on their website already, I would recommend doing so, even if you're not planning on doing Facebook advertising, just because you're now starting to build a list of data. And then if you wanted to later on, you could advertise to people through what's called retargeting, and you could send them your website visitors an ad. You can make what's called a lookalike audience, that is a tool available through the Business Manager, and you can make you can do several Facebook paid advertising options only through the Business Manager. And if you are looking to explore what those are, I would start by setting up a business account here. Brandon has a question about, this is a question. He says, didn't the Pixel get disabled or become much less useful due to Apple and Safari? So that's, I have in my 2 slides, I'm covering that. And yes, absolutely. So disabled, no, not technically, but it's not as useful as it is today. So at a point in the near future, there isn't an exact date yet. iOS, here, I'll just go to that slide. Boom. So iOS 14, which many of us do have iPhones, and we're on iOS 14. So very soon there's going to be this notifications for every app that you use. So I wrote here, new app as an example app. and it gives you this option, A or B. Would you like permission for this app to track you across apps and websites owned by other companies? I don't know about you, but I'm going to select the option of ask app not to track. And what this does is it makes it more difficult for Facebook to collect data for people who are using iPhones. So as a precaution, Facebook has come out and say, hey, look, there's a number of things that we want everyone to do. The main thing that I want to share with you guys for that is to verify your domain through Facebook. So you want to complete the verification process. And if you have any questions about how to do that, please feel free to reach out to me. I can help you out, or the VIP support on Facebook can help you out with that. I don't know, like there's a lot of confusion about this whole iOS 14 update. I don't know how big of a deal it is, but it's, Facebook is taking it very seriously, saying that they are not, they're like giving everyone who advertises, they're giving everyone a heads up saying, hey, look, we aren't able to track as much data on users, especially if they're using an iPhone, and that limits your campaign performance, essentially. So we could talk about that more in the Q&A section if you'd like to. We're just running close to the end of the time. Here's my thank you slide, but I wanted to just go back real quickly to see, how do I start? Okay, I'm gonna start over to hiring. A lot of people on Facebook don't know, a lot of business owners don't know that you can do what's called a job post on Facebook. And I have the link here down at the bottom, facebook.com/jobs. I was surprised, like a lot of the chamber members I was looking up doing really well on social media, but they are just doing a regular Facebook post and it's not a job post. So I'd recommend trying that and seeing how that goes. It lets you do job posts for full-time positions, part-time, internship, volunteer, or contract. And what people can do is they can one click apply and submit their profile or upload a application. And that's my timer. And you can have a job portal through Facebook, whether that's just posting it for no cost or boosting your job post on Facebook and getting even more applications. So if anyone is hiring, and I imagine more people will be hiring soon as the economy opens back up, using Facebook job posts is a great resource. If anyone wants to connect with me, here's my LinkedIn profile QR code. And I'd invite anyone to connect with me on there. I also have a link to my website and my email address because the slides will be sent out afterwards. So feel free to click on that and check me out. The thank you slide. Okay, we're out of time. I wanted to thank everyone for attending today. It looks like there's a couple questions that I skipped over, so we'll answer those first in the Q&A section. And if I can be a resource to anybody, please feel free to reach out, whether it's through my website or email or messaging me on LinkedIn or Instagram. And it's like everyone's so easy to get a hold of these days. It's interesting.
And we have plenty of time, everyone. We wanted to allow plenty of time for question and answer too with Mike. So don't feel pressured. We'd love to have your specific questions. So if you have any, if you want to just pop them there in the chat, that would be great. And I'm not sure which ones we missed.
I'm going to scroll up and see.
Okay. One of my takeaways while Mike is looking back to the questions is I would like to challenge everybody to do a video, do a live video, and just try to get it out there within the next week. I think it's something that it seems intimidating, and some of you do that really well. I know I personally always worry about, what I'm going to say, what I look like, and I think that you can overthink it. So my challenge to myself is to do a live video for the chamber this week.
There you go. And if anyone wants to take it even one step further, they can comment in the chat with what topic they're going to cover in their live video this week. I don't know, Jessica, if you're ready for what topic you're going to cover, or you still need to think about that more, but
my live video is going to be about this.
Is it? Okay.
So my live video is going to be leading people once we upload the recording, leading everyone back to our website, which will host the recording of this meeting.
Terrific idea. Okay, so I found the questions. So Tracy says, is there a way to protect your information, important information, i.e. hours, et cetera, from being manipulated by people other than the business employees? So I think what Tracy was referring to is what my previous slide said about like a user or Google's automated system can update your information. And Google does the courtesy of letting us know that that just happened, but I don't know if there's any way that you can protect that from happening. I don't think so. So hopefully that answered your question, Tracy.
Do you have another one?
I see a question from Judy. It says, what if you had a line in your email? Oh, okay. So she's chiming in on Tari's question. Awesome. Thank you for helping out, Judy. Very helpful.
There's one that just came in from Shan. Is there an Instagram business account, or does everyone have the same? Facebook has business.
So what they call it is a professional account on Instagram. And I just saw news that Instagram is coming out with like much different business pages, because the business accounts look identical to the personal accounts. The professional ones look identical to the personal ones as it is currently, but they're trying to roll out. I don't know how official it is, but they announced that they're testing it of making like actual business pages on Instagram, like there is with Facebook business pages, which are very different from regular Facebook profiles. So, yeah.
So if you're just starting off with, I don't have an Instagram account, but I'm considering getting one. That was my question, was get an Instagram professional account, or should I just do a regular Instagram account? What would be your recommendation?
So Shan, for you, I would, and if this is for, if it's intended for your business, I would have it be the what's called a professional account or a business account on Instagram. And that way you can have your contact information on your profile. And that'd be the main reason to do that. I wouldn't recommend having like two accounts, one personal and one business, because that would just take up too much time. You can always add an additional Instagram account later as you go. But for your first account, I would have it be business oriented, because that'd be a better use of time. And then I would have it be the professional account. So that way your contact information could be featured on your profile.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Susan says, very informative. Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Susan. Any other questions? How are we doing on time as well?
We're fine. We're fine.
Okay.
If there are any other questions, just put them on in the chat. The one thing I thought about when Mike was talking about Google My Business, and I know, oh gosh, it was over a year ago, we did the Google My Business training. But it's always a good idea to go in and see what photos your business has for Google My Business. Because sometimes they're auto-generated, and I've seen ones where it's like a street view of a truck in front of a business. And I think that's really important to make sure that you're updating your photos that are there, because Google is by far the first thing that people are going to find when they're looking for your business.
So important. And building off of that point, Jessica, the main photo. So you have your photos on there, and it's like, okay, are all of those relevant photos, or is it just like a user, like some customer accidentally uploaded some weird photo? You can flag that one, but there is like a main photo, and what Google calls that is your cover photo. And before you even click to see the other photos, that is the main prominent photo. So you want to make sure that you select the best photo for your business on there. So that's something that so many people overlook doing, but it's very important.
So there's one question. Do you hand hold your phone to do the videos?
Yes. There's a selfie stick. You can get one of those. You can have a friend or a peer or staff member hold the phone for you. And that's a little bit easier, because that way you're actually talking to someone else when they're holding the phone. Other than that, you hold the phone, your arm might get a little tired if you're doing 20 minutes of that, or if you're doing 20 takes of it. And that's one of the nice things about a live video is you can just get it over with in the first take.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I have a a mic stand that has a phone holder and a ring light, and it's telescoping all in one. And it really makes it simple. And you can put your phone in here, you can twist it either way, and it's super easy. And it comes with a remote control, so when you start it and stop it, you don't have the big finger there.
Yeah.
I really like that when I do my videos.
Judy, where did you get that?
Well, actually, my husband bought it for me for Christmas, but I'm sure you can just go online and, as I say, GTS, Google that, you know what? And I'm sure you can find that with the ring light, but the two different things out there is there's ring lights that only get like 2 or 3 feet high, and then there's a ring light that you can telescope up to 4 feet. So I would make sure you find whatever one is going to work for what you need. If you're standing, you don't want one that's only 2 feet high, because then you got to find stuff to put it on, and it's tricky. And I usually end up knocking those over halfway through the video. So, but I really like it.
Thank you for that. That's a great
tip.
Bet. Ring light make everyone look beautiful too.
That's what I have.
Need that.
See, he's got his ring light going. Any other questions for Mike? This was a lot of information and incredibly helpful. And I know social media can be totally overwhelming, but as he said, start with one. If you're already on one, maybe adopt another one. Join Alignables on my list of things to do. So there's a lot that we can do so that it doesn't become so overwhelming, but I really appreciate all of the information. There's other questions. We have a couple of announcements. So thank you, Mike, for all of that information. And a couple of announcements. As you know, GlassQuest happened successfully. Of course, it snowed, which was intense, but I want to thank all of you who participated as businesses. It was really, really nice to be able to have an event after so long, and people were so grateful to be able to get out. People were supporting businesses like crazy. I mean, some of the numbers for sales that I saw for February were just amazing. And that's the point, is to get people to come to Stanwood and Camano Island and support these businesses. So I just want to thank all of you who did GlassQuest or put up with the traffic that we had in February. We had a debrief meeting, and we're already starting to plan for next year after I shut it out of my brain for a couple months. We do have Camano Country Club. Sandra is on, and she had an announcement she would like to make. If anyone else has announcements, just put it in the chat and I'll give you some time. So Sandra, do you want to talk about what's going on at the Country Club?
I'm sure. First, Mike, thank you. We just started with social media, and so a lot of good tips. But we are planning an event for June 18th or the 19th. We're not sure if it's going to be Friday or Saturday, and it's going to be a wine and beer and spirits event. So we're looking for companies to participate. So we would already we can have 100 people in our event room, even with the pandemic guidelines. So by that point, we're expecting to have a few more, but even with 100 people, we'll be in pretty good shape. So we would sell the tickets and set up the tables with tablecloths, and we could have a couple different size tables, and you would bring your product and be able to have samples, sell product. And we are thinking maybe it would be right ahead of the 4th of July, a good way to kick off summer. So let me know. We're looking for companies who would like to participate.
Okay, Sandra, can I also mention, in light of that event, which you just mentioned, I'm an artist and I'm with the Camano Arts Association, and I think Barbara is too. So we want to give a call out to everybody to let them know that our studio tour, the Camano Island Studio Tour, is going to be happening the last weekend in June this year. Yeah, too. Yeah. So that'll be really special. And I thought that was a really good time to mention that. We're still processing the marketing, and we'll get everything out in time for everybody on social media to they'll have the date, and then we'll mail out the brochure like we normally do. And of course, this year with COVID, we took a member vote. We decided to have it the last weekend in June. So it's only going to be for one weekend. So keep that in mind.
Great. We love the studio tour and all of the events that are starting to happen. So it's so exciting. Everyone wants events. And then someone put in the chat, the Camano Center is up and running for vaccinations. I just want to give an enormous shout out to Camano Fire and Rescue and the Camano Center for what they've been doing regarding vaccinations. It's pretty amazing. I know the next couple of weeks, I believe, are being held for just second doses. But they have a well-oiled machine. And I heard from Levon yesterday that they have something like 260 volunteers, which is just unbelievable that they've had that many people kind of step up and offer to support our community. So are there any other announcements or questions?
I have a couple.
Sure.
How exciting for the studio art tour, and I'll just tag on to that Stanwood is also going to be doing the Stanwood Summer Arts Jam, and that is the second weekend in July. And so we're super excited about that. And of course, as everybody got kind of stymied last year with COVID, we didn't have anything. And so this year is super exciting. We're really happy to be able to do that. So let me know if you have any questions about that. And then also we have our first event coming up, which is The Goose is Loose. And that is a 5K fun run. If you're with me, it'll be a 5K fun walk and a slow walk. Anyways, that is April 24th, and it's going to be a real fun event. And so let us know if you're interested in that. You can find that on our social media for the Stanwood Chamber.
Great. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, Jessica.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being here. I am going to put the recording on our website and on our social media sites, as well as the slides from Mike. So thank you again, Mike, for all of this information. I'm excited to step up our game in terms of social media and marketing. So thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.